Welcome everybody to ESC Fan TV. It's Friday night, which can mean only one thing. We are talking Norway. We're talking Melodi Grand Prix 2021, Heat 5. Can you believe we've done 5 of these already, plus review shows? We're nearly there. This time next week, we'll be looking forward to the final of Melodi Grand Prix 2021 and asking ourselves the question as to whether Kano can do it again, whether Reign Alexander will reign supreme. Do you know what I did there? Or one of the other 8 entries. It's actually 12, isn't it? 12 entries will find their way to Rotterdam this year for Eurovision 2021. There you go. This is a live show, of course, and the rules are simple. Our panel from all over Europe are going to give their views and their thoughts on each of tonight's 4 entries in Heat 5, and we are going to... And then we are, oh, God's sake, then we are going to talk about the pre-qualifier is back. But remember, this show's all about you. So please chat away in the chat room. My very good friend and co-host Tom will be joining you this evening. He is back after a very short hiatus. Hello, Tom.
Hey, Stu. Good to be back. Yeah, loads of people in the chat room already. Keep chatting away, and I look forward to having Natalie with all of you in the chat room this evening as well.
And as we go tonight, make sure you vote for your favourite entry. Use the code menti.com 665830. Tap away, menti.com, use the code 665830. And we're going to talk through our favourites of tonight now and tell you why each of these 4 has a chance of qualifying and perhaps why they don't have a chance of qualifying. We're going to make a start, but before we do that, we're going to ask our panel to give you a wave, and then we'll get to meet our panel as we go. So here's your panel for this evening. That's right, we got panelists all the way from Latvia this evening, from Belgium, from Sweden, from Cyprus, and of course the grand old United Kingdom. Yeah, exactly. Who put Steve as centre square this evening? What happened there? Anyway. Go on, Steve.
Leave me there. Leave me there. Don't move me around this time.
Put him back. Put him back. It wasn't me, I promise, Steve. Right, let's get on with tonight's show. We're going to walk through these 4 qualifiers now, and you can tell us who you think are going to qualify. Song 1 is Ane.Fin with Walking in My Sleep. Let's take a little listen to this song. That's Ane.Fin with Walking in My Sleep. The song itself is co-written by a familiar face in Melodi Grand Prix. In fact, he won last week's semi-final. It's Kim. Kim is back. It's the co-writer of this song. It's a cool modern pop song with R&B vibes. Keen to know what my panel have to say about this. We're going to start the evening with everyone's favourite Latvian. We're going to go all the way to Latvia to say hey to Lana. Good evening from Latvia. Good evening.
Good evening. Well, I'm going to be honest. I think the song is bad. And I told you that, Steve, but you still wanted to hear it. So anyway, the first 10 times that I listened to the song, I thought it was in Norwegian because I didn't catch the lyrics at all. The chorus and I mean the entire song, it just it's hard to listen to, and it's like annoyingly catchy in the way that I found BD Bell in the beginning. Now I want her to win the wild card, but that's a whole other story. But I doubt that this one will grow on me. And yeah, I just can't see how it will compete with the other songs of this heat. So.
Thank you, Lana. It's a great stepping song, by the way. Try this on the treadmill if you don't want to go very fast. Thank you, walking in my... It's fantastic. Steve, what has she got to do tomorrow night to stand out?
She's got to do a lot, I think. I think it's an okay song, but it kind of grated on me a bit. The further it went in, the more kind of middle of the road it got. It started off quite cool and quite different, but it then got a bit samey. throughout. So I think she's got a lot of work to do. Not a bad voice at all, but I think there are stronger songs in this lineup, to be honest. And I pretty much agree with Lana, actually, basically on this.
Thank you, Steve. Joe, how do you expect this to be performed tomorrow night? What should we expect from the staging?
Oh, I think it'll be a bit disco-y with some dancers. To be honest, I think that's all she can really do. I mean, I actually quite like the song, but I don't know how she'd be able to stage it apart from literally singing it with, you know, about 4 dancers on each arm or something like that, or, you know, probably females as well, sort of in the background. I can't really see it sort of doing that well, but, you know, I quite like it. Maybe some people think it's a bit dated. I don't know. I actually think it's quite nice.
I think it's dated in quite a good way, actually. And
Yeah,
do you know, I think back, actually, to some of the other semi-finals. I just wonder, yes, Lana, dated can be good. I just think back to some of the old semi-finals that we've had over the last few weeks and think, actually, if this was in, let's say, semi-final 3, it had a chance. Marius, can't see you because the camera was covering him. But if we think back to semi-final 3, when, let's be fair, it got a bit ropey, didn't it? It went downhill pretty fast. Would this have stood a chance in semi-final 3? But actually, we're ruling it out. Does it stand a chance tomorrow night?
Hi, guys. We're already at the final step, semi-final 5. No, I don't think this is a song that will... I think it would just pass through nobody would take notice. I listened to it, and then after 10 seconds, I just wanted to turn it off. And I'm surprised that Kim wrote this. But then again, it shows you his versatility, that he can write different genres. But as a song, it does nothing for me. It doesn't bother me that it's dated. It's just something really bothers me about the song overall. So I would say it's the weakest out of the 4 that we have tomorrow.
You think?
Yeah.
Thank you, Marius. Thank you. And finally, Tom, is this a case of walking into the final, or perhaps walking to bed to go to sleep because it bored me so much?
See, I have a thing with songs that have the word sleep in them, as people know. And if you have the word sleep in them, generally they either send me to sleep or I just want to turn them off and go to sleep. And I have to say this one probably fits into the latter. It's a good contemporary track, but it's dated, and it's dated in a bad way, in my opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of this track. I still think, you know, with a good performance, as we've proven with so many songs, we listen to the audio and we're like, don't really like this, and then we see the performance and we're like, hang on a second, this has totally taken it to another level, and I really hope that's the case tomorrow night. But for me personally, yeah, I think there are better songs available tomorrow night that should win.
I'm not feeling a lot of love here for this song, for Walking in My Sleep. If you're a fan of it in the chat room, and in fact, are they a fan of it in the chat room? Because you're in the chat room chatting away to all the chatters.
I was going to say, it's funny you should mention that. So we have Andrew says, nice song. Jeanette says, not bad at all. And then we have Sending Me to Sleep. Next. Thomas said Steve in the centre spot. You may notice Steve is in the centre spot.
Yeah,
we listen to feedback. Diana says, not bad, cheery, but nothing special. And the song isn't bad, but I don't think it's for Eurovision. I think we can safely say that, you know, reception is muted this evening, but you have given Diana an idea, because she's going to use this on her 60-minute treadmill workout. I feel exhausted, Diana, just even reading that.
It works, trust me. I tried it on my treadmill earlier whilst eating a curry at the same time. It's absolutely banging. Right, song 2. We're going to slow the pace down somewhat now. This is IMERIKA with I Can't Escape. And by the way, you mentioned Another Level earlier, Tom. I clocked that because Another Level were a 90s pop band, weren't they? Do you want another 90s pop band? A1. I don't know if anyone out of you in Europe remembers A1, but A1 were massive in the UK. And guess what? Ben Adams has written this. Yes, America with I Can't Escape. Here's America now. Yeah, it was written by Erica Darling. That's her real name, America. And one or two others, plus Ben Adams, formerly of A1, British boy band back in the day. That's right. Interestingly as well, Darlin's got form in MGP. She's also written another song. She's written Kaya Rhodes' Feel Again. This is a moving ballad. Let's find out what our panel think about this entry. We're going to go and talk to Ian and Donna. We're going to say hello to Scotland. Welcome.
All righty.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Kim's the only ballad in the final so far. Could this potentially be the second?
Yes, I think it
Yeah,
can.
I think so.
It's a very exposed vocal, which is quite can be quite risky, but there's not a lot. It's not tucked into the music now. It's very exposed, very delicate in places. It's quite slow, but there's a kind of quiet power in this.
And actually, if
nice.
they stage it a little bit like Kim, I think the other week, and her voice is on point. This has got it totally. It's really nicely balanced, I think, as a song.
Yeah, they really can't overcook the staging. That would be deadly for this. It has to complement the delicate nature of the voice in places.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a real contender.
I agree. I think it is. If staged correctly. Talking of staging, let's go to Alina next. Alina, first of all, what do you think about this entry, and also how do you visualize the potential staging tomorrow evening?
I really like the song. Like, I love it. And on staging, I don't know. I think something like it went in Sweden with that one girl, or was it in Norway, where we talked about in another show? Like very simple, like a bit of Ulrika, or that girl from 2 years ago. I don't know the country anymore. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this now. Very simple, very classy. And I just saw the person for the first time, like a few seconds ago, and I didn't expect her to have like this bright hair color. I'm like, oh, I expected like a nice, sweet girl, and she has bright hair color. So I'm loving to see the combo of that.
I think it's a winning combo. I think it really works. They complement each other, in my opinion. Joe, this is a really good ballad, actually, and I've been waiting for something this good. In a different kind of way, Kim was very theatrical. This is very delicate. What are your thoughts on this entry?
Yeah, I've got a few thoughts around it. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of her voice. I think the song is absolutely gorgeous. Not a fan of her voice, and to be fair, doesn't she sound a little bit like Victoria, Bulgarian Victoria?
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about that, and I thought, well, yeah, if she wins the whole thing, we're gonna have two very, very samey artists at Eurovision, and all of a sudden it doesn't seem unique. All of a sudden it's sort of, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of female singers who have similar voices, and you know, you want something different, and one of them is different, but two of them isn't. And I'm a little bit hit and miss with it, but I do absolutely adore the song, and I reckon she'll probably put it at the bag tomorrow, and she will win, for the simple reason that it is a classy song. It really is.
It really is. Someone else who loves ballads, he's well known for loving ballads, is our friend from the north. It's Gustav When I say north, I mean the real north. Really north, where it's bloody freezing right now. Come in, Gustav, all the way from Sweden.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Gustav. Gustav,
was I supposed to say anything else there?
How does this rank in terms of your ballads that you've heard this year?
You know, I have had quite a ride with this song, actually. When I first listened to all the songs, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is the winner. This is the best song. And then I stopped listening to all the songs, and I listened to them right before this show, and I was like, her voice is quite annoying. But then when you played that little snippet, I was like, okay, it's back in the top again. So I have no idea.
Okay, so this is perhaps a bit hit and miss. Thank you, Gustav. Lana, what are your thoughts on this? And around 2 minutes 20, this song really exploded. Could we see this really be kind of won or lost by that moment tomorrow evening?
I don't know, but I absolutely love the song, and everyone who disagrees, I will kick them off the panel. Don't know how, don't know if I can do that, but I will find a way. Like once in a blue moon, I get this song that hits me really hard, and then I get an urge to like reach out to the artist and be like, this thing that you created, it's so amazing, and thank you for it, because I really needed that at that moment. And this was the case. And I actually DM'd EMERIKA, and she's a really sweet girl, by the way. And overall, I think the vocals tomorrow are going to be pretty great from what I've seen on her stories. So I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah, so absolutely. And loving that you're channeling Liam Neeson vibes there, Lana. I will find you, I will hunt you down, and I will kill you. Right, moving on now to Marius. Marius, round this off for us. What should we expect tomorrow night, do you think, from the staging and the overall performance?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that I've come to a conclusion. I think Norwegians really want to win Eurovision this year. I mean, they are really going for it, and we've seen these throughout the weeks and the quality of the songs. This song, personally, every single lyric speaks to me. It's like my story. So every time I listen to it, it's like I'm reliving my own experience a couple of years back. I get the voice thing, that it can be, it's not annoying, it's just that her voice is different. It's a beautiful song. I mean, this has got it in the bag tomorrow. And the comparison to Victoria is also true. I think this song is better than the Victoria's song. I actually didn't really like that song, although they had it last year winning or something. But this song tomorrow night, she will go on stage quietly, she will mesmerize everybody, and I think she will actually win the semi tomorrow, definitely.
Thanks, Marius. And don't worry about that. Bulgaria were not winning Eurovision in 2020. Armenia were. Right. Tom, what does the chat room have to say?
Well, thankfully for the chat room, they're really positive about it, especially after Lana gave such a good write-up of it. No, they've been positive the whole time. What have we got here? Martin says EMERIKA is the track for semi-final 5. Mel says it could even win the whole thing for me. It's beautiful. Neil says probably best of the bunch, though I doubt it will have much effect on the final. Mel also says if Duncan taught us anything, Europe loves a sentimental indie ballad about a failed relationship, which I thought was quite funny. And then what else have we got here? Annie says I think it will win tomorrow, but it's not my favourite. And yeah, a very, very positive thing. I think this is in pole position so far, but our poll is still open for people to vote. If we go to menti.com and the code is 665830.
Was that you checking there, Tom? Did I just catch you kind of trying to catch a glance at the code as it ran across the bottom?
No, I think you'll find I stalled talking long enough for the code to appear at the bottom.
Just about go away with it. Right, song 3. It's a bit pop country coming your way. This is River and Coming Home. So this is something you don't see every day. This is a father and son-in-law team, Thomas and Lennart. And they both apparently got some pedigree in Norwegian, but they've come together for Melodi Grand Prix 2021. Coming Home sounds an awful lot like Victor Crone in Melfest last year. For me, let's find out what my panel thinks. Let's go to Ian and Donna first on this one. So, what are your thoughts on Coming Home, Ian and Donna?
Actually, just from that picture, it probably looks like they're trying to about to sell you a car at a slightly dodgy used car dealership.
It's a bit like Extras in Minder, isn't it? If anyone's old enough to remember that show.
You wouldn't want to mess with them, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
You really wouldn't.
No, but back to the song anyway. Yeah. I really like this one. It's fairly middle of the road. It's nothing exciting. It's nothing adventurous. It's doing nothing new, but it's just really well executed. It's straightforward. It's got a good tune to it. It's well sung. I don't think it'll do amazingly well. It might get through its first heat, but
yeah, I can see this at the golden final. I know. Yeah.
But
no, it's just it is a well executed pop country song, isn't it? And it's something that you definitely tune into on the radio. I would anyway. It's more my taste. If they can pull this off again live, then I would back this very heavily. And I hope if the draws go right, then it'll be IMERIKA and this one battling it out. Let's see.
That's the thing, isn't it? Where do the jewels fall? And what we've seen over the last 5 weeks is that songs can live or die by their performance and their staging, more importantly. And I think this is one that could go the same way. Think back to Victor Crone, and that's a bad comparison, I know. But he, I think, won by his vocal, but also the staging last year. That it was a significant contributor to his success in Melfest. Elena, I know you're a fan of this one. Tell us why.
For once, not for the looks. But yeah, I really like this song. It makes you happy. Like when you're down in a mood like that you want to sleep and you not feel motivated. Like you put this on and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do the dishes. Like I like this one. That's the kind of song that I need in my life. Songs that motivate me to do the dishes.
Uplifting country pop. Yeah, I got it.
But yeah, I really hope the staging goes well and that they're good. And I don't think they will go to the final, but yeah.
But it'll be a good bit of fun tomorrow night. Steve, what have they got to do to go to the final?
Well, I just put my dishes in a dishwasher. I wouldn't listen to this to do the dishes. I think this is the previous track would be my winner. I think this one could run it a close second. It's thigh slapping. It's got a nice kind of beaty backing track that kind of lifts the vocals as well. I think this could be, thigh slapping yeehaw on stage, and it could actually get a lot of votes because of that, because it is quite uplifting. And I think this is the sort of track that it's easy to listen to. It's really easy to listen to and very, very catchy. I like it. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure, but I like it.
Easy to listen to, and it gets your feet popping away, doesn't it?
It does. And the fact they look quite rough is an additional bit for me.
I don't know what you mean. I really don't. They look like two fine young men to me. Talking of thigh slapping, let's go to the north. Gustav, come in. Are you a fan of thigh slapping?
always.
And what could you possibly find interesting about this one, given your previous experience on this show?
No, what do you want from me?
Tell us about the song.
It's a great song, but Elena basically stole everything I was going to say. So I was like, come up with something quick, and then I couldn't come up with anything. It's a really good song, and I love country pop, so it's right up my alley.
Yeah, exactly. Big old staple in Melody Festival and the last few years. And it's done well in this one, actually. Joe, I know you were a big fan of Victor Crone last year. Was I making an unfair comparison? It does sound a bit like it, doesn't it? A bit like Troubled Water.
It could have been Victor Crone 2 years ago as well, remember?
True.
Yeah, definitely. I tell you, comparison-wise, I do like what Martin's been saying about it sounding like Coming Home from Malta. Twilight. And also don't forget that although not in that particular group, but also the lead singer actually sang with his dad in the Maltese national final a few years later. So yeah, there's lots of comparisons there. I actually quite like it. It's my favourite as well. It's my favourite of the four. Just because, yeah, as Alina said, you can wash the dishes, you can do your dusting and your polishing, and you can go around doing all your housework. And, just as easy as you can relax to it. I love it.
There's a common theme going on here, a common thread of, housework and exercise and all that kind of thing. It's all about getting fit in Melody Grand Prix semi-final 5, isn't it? Tom, what are the chat rooms saying, and what are your thoughts on this song?
Well, let's deal with the chat room first. Chat room, really, really, really positive reaction again. Martin says this is the one that could stop America winning semi-final 5. Andrew says it's upbeat and positive, and it's nice to listen after a busy day lecturing. Mel, quite like this one. Can't go wrong with an up-tempo country number, although it does sound a bit too inspired by Avicii at some points. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Diana agrees with Alina's points. Neil suspects the staging will involve guitars. Diana suggests cowboy hats as well. And yeah, everyone is really positive. What do I think? Well, let's face it. Last week was a difficult week for me because obviously, there were certain things that didn't go the way I wanted them to. But when you're confronted with a similar folky, country, upbeat song, you just think there's the opportunity to right the wrongs of last week. Oh my God, I love this. This is amazing. This should just wipe the floor with the competition. Give up now, hand it to them. It's great. Amazing. It's going to have me bopping around all night to this. Love it.
Which means a surefire way of saying it will not qualify tomorrow night, people. But if you
every
love
year
it,
I get one. Every year. Every year, Stu.
Well, everyone can get 1%, Tom. It's the other 99% I worry about. But anyway, if it's your favourite, make sure you vote for it at menti.com 66 50 58 30. That's 66 58 30. Final song of the qualifiers. This is mental. This is... I'm not even going to pronounce this, actually, because it's too hard for me. TuVeia.
Ja, så bli med meg på gar'n. Bli med på gar'n. Ja, bli med meg på gar'n. Ja, for vi har snus, karsk og fenalår til å mette den dal her i flere år.
So that's your song 4. This is TuVeia, and this is their first time in MGP. They're a 3-piece rap group. That's right, rap. And they were founded in 2013. They're a mix of hip-hop rappers, farmers. And this is an EDM-produced auto-tune with cow sounds, harmonica, and is type song, and is believed to be uniquely Norwegian in dialect. I don't know about you guys, but if there isn't cowboy hats, chaps and a banjo, I think there'll be a robbery in Oslo this weekend. let's go over to Joanne first this time. Joanne, this you know how much I love Dusty Cow Shit back in 2007. That was like the best ever Melody Grand Prix song in history. This gives me Dusty Cow Shit vibes. What about you?
Oh, Disney Cow Shit. Yeah, I get where you're coming from on that one, Stuart, really too. It's mad, isn't it? And you know what? It's probably gonna go and walk and win the whole thing, isn't it? It is funny. You got to admit, I am not a fan of rap, but I tell you what, they put such a spin on it really this time that I have to say it is a bit of fun and it's a laugh, and I cannot wait to see the staging. Are we gonna get? We won't obviously get live animals, but will we get anything else? You know, will we get people dressed up as cows? I don't know.
Oh, can we
It's
please
gonna
have
be
live
fun.
animals?
It's
Please
gotta
have
be
live
something,
animals.
isn't it? Chicken running across the stage. I mean, it'd be amazing. And of course, there won't be any frogs, Stu. Let's just say that one. I'm sure there'll be no frogs.
Well, I'm down for this one. I have to say, if there was ever a winner in this heat, it would be this for me. Although it will divide opinion. Marius, what is your view on this particular entry?
Well, actually, I'm thinking of going to see a therapist next week because I actually love this. And you know, when you're actually visualizing something as if it's a video clip or something. Does anybody remember Wham's first song, Wham Rap, the video?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay, there's a geeky middle-aged guy wearing these thick glasses and he's doing these little expressions, and I put those two together and I watched it earlier on and I was in fits actually. This song, well, you can't even call it a song, it's just madness. But as Joe said, I wouldn't be surprised if it just went through tomorrow and won. But yeah, why not? We need chickens and cows on stage. Unfortunately, we can't get them, but I'm hurt and I'm seriously thinking that I might need help. Thank
you, Marius. Yeah, me too, actually. But this song, I think, was for me the tipping point. Quite honestly, it's been a long 5 weeks. Steve, coming to you next. It's in a weird kind of a universe. Is there a chance that this qualifies tomorrow night? Do you think?
Probably not. But if you remember, Stuart, we went to Eurovision. We actually met Dusty Cowshit.
We did.
He was absolutely off his head, wasn't he?
Well, I was telling Marius earlier today, Steve, I actually danced with the one with the beard and the glasses.
Anyway, coming back to this, I feel they've got a Somerset accent when they sing in Norwegian. I keep hearing this kind of ooh-ah in Norwegian. It's got that kind of ring to it. I think it's all going to be about the staging, and if they get that absolutely bonkers right, it stands a good chance at least of getting to the final two. But I don't think it's going through, but I'm sure it'll be absolute fun.
I think if they pull a Dusty Cow shit, I think this could do it tomorrow night. It's the kind of song that will absolutely live and die by its staging. Lana, tell us what you think about this. Is this
say they're certainly cuter than Dusty Cow shit, and I'll shut up now.
Well, I kind of want Rough and Ready. I kind of want the two guys from before doing this song. I'm not sure what we're going to get from these two. They look far too kind of clean and proper, don't they? But there we go. Lana, what are your thoughts on this?
I couldn't stop laughing the first time I heard this, and I just kept thinking, this is so goddamn hilarious. The second time I listened to it, I started imitating the chicken sound. And honestly, it's just so funny. I love it, and maybe I need a therapist too. But I can't see it qualifying unless that would be some kind of a sick joke on me. But God, I love it.
Well, if you think back to last year, the fifth semi-final of MGP 2021 sprung a few surprises. So who knows? Who knows? Tom, what are the chat rooms saying? And I have no doubt in my mind that you absolutely love this.
You'd think I would, wouldn't you, Steve? But every time I try to, do you know what? And this is I think the way we could describe some opinions to this Neil in the chat has put, a broken clock tells the right time twice a day. And I think that sums the thing up about anyone that has a positive opinion about this. But, you know, as WIVM says, don't like it, but there probably is a public for it. Martin wants to know how many farmyard animals they will have on the backdrop. What have we got? I don't know if this song is popular in Norway, but I think it's a good song. I wonder to stage. Annie Jarrett's husband loved it. Don Wigley, it's made his day. But the best one goes to our panelist Ian, who is currently also joining in the chat, which is This Is Like Cotton Eye Joe on drugs.
It is. But that's probably why we love it. Anyway,
that's probably why you love it. I'm indifferent, I'll be honest.
I love. Do you know what I love about national final season? More so than Eurovision, actually, is you get all these really crap entries that are so much fun, and nobody ever. You can't have a conversation about anyone other than a Eurovision fan, a hardened Eurovision fan, about half of these songs because they know what the bloody hell you're talking about. But some of them are absolutely hilarious, and this will go down in history, I think.
Don't you think they sound almost a touch like a Colin Kai tribute act? Danish entry
Denmark
from '97,
possibly. Yeah. If Cool Kai had pigs and cows and chickens on stage with him rather than receptionists, Tom.
Well, he had directory inquiries, didn't he? But you know, things have obviously moved on since then.
Bringing it back to 2021, that's your 4 done. Make sure you vote for your favourite. The lines are still open temporarily. Menti.com 66, 58, 30. We're going to find out very, very soon who you have voted for to win tomorrow night. I think so far we have 1 correct result out of the entire MGP so far. So we're doing rather well. Make sure you vote and make sure you get it right this time, because we will remind you, especially after tomorrow night's result. Final pre-qualifier. Then we can start talking about finalists. Next Friday, of course, is Rain Alexander. He is back. And I think he might be bringing James Bond's gun with him. What do you think about this? Eyes wide open.
We can do better, we better sleep out louder than ever. We gotta see we are in this together. Just let me wake up tomorrow with eyes wide open.
So there was a huge uproar in Norway last year when Rain failed to make the final 4 in the Melodi Grand Prix 2020 final. That's right, the super final. He was knocked out in the first round, and fans expressed their absolute outrage. But never mind. NRK said, Rain, don't worry, you can join next year as a direct finalist. And he's brought all the guns this time along. He's brought some of the best songwriters. Morland is back as one of the songwriters, and so is Christian Ingebrigtsen, who is a very well-known Norwegian singer-songwriter and the writer of Ulrika's Attention last year. So they're really in the Rain Alexander camp. Can this win? And do we finally have some competition for Kano and Rayleigh? Let's go to Joe first. Joe, it was a robbery. You were actually there last year. It was a robbery that he wasn't in the super final, wasn't it?
Oh, I remember it so well. I sat next to this guy who was just crazy about Ray. Him and his family were absolutely blind drunk. I literally had to squeeze onto my little seat because he got beer, like piles and piles of beer underneath my seat where he was going to drink them as he went along. And he kept saying to me, Rain's going to win, and all he said all night. And of course, when they didn't make it, I didn't realise there was a problem with the voting. So I was like, ha 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 ha, it's Ulrika's going to win. I told you. And then of course find out actually, yeah, he probably should have got into that top 4 at the very least. Got some cracking pictures of him like lighting fire on stage in
like this one.
The rehearsal as well. That's the one. Yeah, I'll put them on the Facebook page at some point. So yeah, but yeah, and what you're saying, you're talking about A1 with Ben. Well, don't forget Christian Ingebrigtsen was also a member of A1. It wasn't just a British band; it was a British Norwegian band. and Christian was the Norwegian in it. So yeah, A1 could have double success tomorrow. Double success.
It's an interesting song, isn't it? Because it really plays to Rain's vocal ability and his power on stage.
Definitely.
If ever there was a song that could be elevated significantly by the right staging, this is the one. Ian and Donna, is there an argument to be said that this is a real contender to win MGP now, and you're potentially looking at a three-way dance between Rain Alexander, Kano, and Rayleigh in the final?
Yeah, I'd probably add Texan to that as well. But yeah, this is a strong song. I kind of hope for a wee bit more with this. He's got a phenomenal voice, and I was hoping for something a little less poppy, a bit more either a very strong ballad or something with a bit more of a rocky edge, perhaps, to really let his voice fly. But this is good.
He's got quite a powerhouse vocal, hasn't he? So I'm sure he'll bring something really impressive on stage.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, I would be very disappointed.
Yeah, there was a big theatricality about last year's one. That's what he does. He's good at it, and I think that could be, if he brings that this time, that will really help the song along.
But you know, it has got potential, and he's clearly got the fan base behind him as well. And given the calibre of songs, everything should be in his favour.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, this is solid. This is a very solid entry. There's no real weak points here. So yeah.
Oh, agreed. Steve, how do you envisage this being performed tomorrow night? The stage is going to be epic, isn't it, you'd imagine?
I think it's going to be quite Bond-esque.
Do you?
It'll be very, very different to last year. Great vocals. Oh, God, is that what he's going to wear?
I think that's kind of the theme.
Okay.
It's a bit more Mary Poppins, doesn't it, than Bond, actually?
Mary Poppins with facial hair, yes.
Maybe he's going to open his umbrella and fly away, or fly down. Who knows?
Probably, and then sing a spoonful of sugar. That'll do it, won't it? But I think this is a great song. I think this is better than the song he had last year, and it really shows his vocal range better as well. And I think it's a really strong contender. And I agree with what people are saying broadly, what the top four might be. Although I think the winner last week might be amongst them as well. But I think this is going to be a great performance. He's a very good singer, good songwriters behind him. This is definitely one to watch.
Yeah, I think the staging is going to be really important. Glad we get to see it tomorrow night, or at least the first version of it. By the way, just a point on staging and the direct qualifiers. Most of them have said they'll change the staging ahead of the final next week, so we might see some variation there. Especially Kano have said they're making some changes. Tix is going to be making some changes. I would like to just add something to that. Easy to listen to Eurovision fans just a little bit too much. Let's be honest, we're all a bit bonkers and we don't really know much. So stick to your guns is what I say. Lana, coming to you now. I know you're a huge Kano fan. How do you see this going? And is this a potential contender for Kano now, do you think?
I don't really know. But you see, I've noticed this tendency that every time I'm on a show, I bash every song except one. And I've already praised one of the songs, so I'm not going to be very kind to this one. And judging by Eline's clapping earlier, she's probably going to kill me, but that's fine. Anyhow, I really liked his song last year, and to be honest, I can't really remember much of the melody now because, you know, Kano have the lyric one last time in their song now, so when I think of it, all I can hear is their song. But I do remember liking it a lot and liking it better than this one. However, I definitely see how this could have an absolutely epic staging and just being super entertaining and you know, like last year. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing it too.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how he performs this live. A bit like with Kaya Rhodes, you know, I think back to a couple of weeks ago, I was really looking forward to seeing that live, and I felt the staging kind of sucked. You know, so I think that tomorrow night, it's really good to get to see the pre-qualifiers. Even though they've got time to make adjustments, you get a real feel for how they're going to perform in the final, or how they could perceivably compete in the final with a few changes. So I think it's really exciting tomorrow. Gustav, he nearly did it last year. Many felt that he was robbed. Many felt he should have been at least in the top 4, possibly even winner last year. How does this compare with last year's song for you, do you think?
Well, if you all remember, last year we were sitting here chatting about him, and I hated that song. I couldn't stand it. So when I heard he was back, I was like, oh shit, I'm probably going to hate this song too. Then I listened to it, and it's absolutely amazing. I love this song. It reminds me a bit of, I can't remember the name of the song, but a bit one Republic song that I listened a lot to a couple of years ago. And I can see this winning, and I wouldn't be mad about it like it would have been last year.
Thank you, Gustav. I think this is definitely a contender. Whether it can win Melodi Grand Prix, I don't know, but I can see this competing next week. Definitely. I'd be surprised if this doesn't make the super final this time. I really would. And I would be saying, hey, there really is a robbery going on here. Tom, let's round this out. What are your thoughts on this? And also, what are the chat rooms saying in general?
Well, chat room on the whole, really, really positive. Diana says, really like it. Should do good. Annie reckons it's a great song, reflective of these dark days. Anya really likes it as well. Some discussion, because Mel wants Jon Snow as a backing dancer, but we have actually said and tried to establish here that, you know, it's Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, not Jon Snow of Channel 4 News fame. You know, an easy thing to do. What are my thoughts? I almost wonder if there's a comment to be made on the voting debacle of last year, given the fact the chorus is we can do better, we better speak out louder than ever, we got to see we are in this together, let me wake up tomorrow with eyes wide open. And you almost think that, you know, the eyes were wide open to the disaster of last year, and that's why he's back. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I love it. I think it's a fantastic Bond-esque track. I think it's got a really nice solid vibe to it, and I think he should make the gold final next week. I'd like to think he would, especially after last year. Let's just hope NRK have got their voting sorted properly.
Like Gustav, I wasn't mad keen on last year. I am mad keen on this one. I think this is really good. Not sure it's my winner yet, but I want to see it perform tomorrow night. But you guys in the chat room, you've been voting, but what I want to find out firstly is what my panel thinks will qualify tomorrow night. 4 songs. We're going to go through our panel just very quickly, and they're going to give you their choices to qualify. We're going to start in Cyprus with Marius.
I'd like to see MGP2021 go through tomorrow. Definitely.
Thank you, Marius. Ian and Donna.
America for me, anyway.
I would quite like to see River go through, but I don't think it will. I think America might be the one.
Okay, we're going with I Can't Escape so far. Let's go to Sweden and Gustav. Gustav, which one are you picking?
America.
Okay, clean sweep so far. Elena?
I'm at the team, America.
Can she win? Can anyone else win? Yeah, I suppose they can still. Steve, what are you going for?
America.
Okay, maybe not now. Lana?
America 100%.
Okay, thank you very much. And Joe?
I'm always different, aren't I? River for me.
River, coming home. Okay, and finally, Tom, what are you going for?
Well, obviously, I'm joining my buddy over here. Hey! Because, obviously, it's River coming home. They're going to bring it home, people.
And I'm going to go for TuVeia. There you go, just to be different. And what I guarantee now, we're going to put the scores up. I guarantee TuVeia is last, as it was last time. So let's put the scores up. Right, let's find out. So you guys have been voting. Thank you very much for voting in the chat room. We're going to close the voting now. Of course, it's a small vote that we do every week just to see what the popular opinion is. And you think the qualifier from semi-final 5. Tomorrow we'll... I knew it. I Can't Escape. America wins it. And last, of course, is TuVeia. It was always going to be the way. Second last, Walking in My Sleep, and Coming Home looks like it's going to run I Can't Escape relatively closely. There you go. That is your results for this week. America with I Can't Escape is your choice. So I think it's only appropriate that we take another little listen. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. That is your Melodi Grand Prix Heat 5 preview done. Don't go anywhere though, because tomorrow night, straight after the semi-final, you will find us live at 10 p.m. Central European Time. We will be reviewing the show, and make sure you do join us, because by the way, you can watch Melfest on SVT Play at any time over the next 24 hours. Don't worry about it. Just watch it after our live show. Very, very important that. And then on Sunday, you can, yes, good stuff, because we're talking about Melfest on Sunday. Don't let the team down. On Sunday evening at 9 p.m. Central European Time, we're back again talking Melfest semi-final 2 and whether the right songs went direct till the finale or did the wrong ones not qualify. We're going to find out. And a bit like last week, we had 2 songs that generally our panel felt should have qualified and didn't. Will it be the same this week, or will the right 2 go through and the right 2 to Andre Chanson? That's all Sunday. So, Tom, back with you. What's been going on in the chat room?
In the chat room, Stu, we've got lots of love for America, although obviously lots of love personally from me and Joe. It goes to Annie, who says that she's backing River. Sean over in there still thinks it's between Rayleigh and Kino this year for the crown, but also big love to Sean because he's had a little operation this week as well, which is why we haven't seen too much of him. So, you know, wishing you all the best, Sean. Yeah. There we go. Make a heart with my hands.
He's no longer called Sean, by the way. He's changing his name very shortly. No, it's not that kind of operation, I promise.
You always, you know what? We have the nice big sentimental family moments. You know, we're all in this together, and then it's just like, oh.
He knows I'm only playing. Lots of love, Sean. Anyway, that's your show done. Make sure you join us tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Central European Time. All that's left for me to say a massive thanks to our panel. Thank you to Gustav.
Thank you, guys, and I will see you on Sunday and dance like it's the 90s again.
Exactly, yeah. And big thanks to Ian and Donna.
Cheers, folks. See you tomorrow night.
See ya.
Huge thank you to Marius.
Good night, guys. See you tomorrow.
Big thank you to Alina from Belgium.
Bye. I think I'm going to do my dishes now.
Yeah. Enjoy listening to this week's MGP Heat 5. Steve, big thanks for joining us this evening.
Yes, thank you, everyone. I'm not going to even bother to do my dishes.
Well, it's because you've got a dishwasher. Thank you to Lana all the way from Latvia.
Thank you so much. This has been very fun.
And thank you to Joe.
Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. And I've already done my dishes.
Have you? I haven't done mine, actually. I've got to do mine. Anyway, what are we talking about dishes for? What the hell happened there? Thank you, Tom. Great show as always. And you're back in the hot seat tomorrow night, and I'll be doing in the chat room. So I'm sure that'll be an absolute pleasure for everyone, won't it?
Oh, do you know what? They're already looking forward to it. You know, you being in the chat room. Superb. What are they going to do on Sunday when you take the night off? No idea.
Well, it's Valentine's Day, so my wife has asked that she can see me at some point this year, and I thought that has to be Sunday. If ever there's going to be a day to take the night off, enjoy talking Melfest, I'll enjoy watching you on the download.
Hey.
Right, we're going to get out of here. Make sure you join us tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central European Time. Until then, enjoy Melodi Grand Prix and SVT's Melfest. We'll see you very, very soon. Bye for now.